Hello, this is a video for trainee driving instructors, so PDI, welcome. This is going to be examples of Q&A questions that you can ask your partly trained student or the examiner when he's pretending to be partly trained. This is not for a brand new student. This is when you're working with a partly trained student or you've gone to prompt and independent with a student. Okay, let's begin. There's parked cars all over the right-hand side of the road here. Who's got official priority? There's some turns and roads on the left. What should we expect to happen and what should we do with our speed? There's parked cars on the left of the road. Who's got official priority? I've noticed there's potholes here. What should we do? There's parked cars on the left and the right. What happens about priority here? What other hazards should we be aware of when we drive down a road like this? There's road markings and signs here everywhere. What does the triangle mean on the floor? Who do we give way to? I've noticed that there's a door open. What should we do? Are we allowed to go through the gap? This is a residential area with lampposts consecutively down the road. What's the speed limit? What does the sign on the right mean about this road? How fast should we go for a speed bump? Which gear is typical for a speed bump? There's a sign on the left of the road. What does that mean about the road ahead of us? Now that we're on this road, where would you give way if you needed to? Are we ever allowed to give way on the right? What junction is coming up? Who do we give way to at a roundabout? Is the man allowed to cut the roundabout off and drive over the centre of the roundabout? Where should we stop now that there's a vehicle in front of us and there's pedestrians on the right? Is the pedestrian safe where he is? Who's got priority now that the door is opened? Should we try and speed the learner up by beckoning to them? In a moment, we're going to check our mirror. Which one is it? Should we accept the pedestrian's beckon? Why would you check your right mirror here? How far away from the parked car should we be? Why should we be a metre away from the parked car? Are we allowed to drive over the bus stop? There's a road on the left. What should we expect? If we stop behind the bike, how much space should we leave? Why should we do an extra check of the left mirror, especially when we move off from this crossroads? We're going straight on at the crossroads. Do we have priority? Is it safe to go? Why is there a light on the left here at the beginning and on the other side? Can we undertake the bike? What does the sign on the left mean? We're approaching a roundabout. Who's got priority? Which gear is it likely that we'll be using at this particular roundabout? Do we need to signal to leave this roundabout? How fast should we do a roundabout typically in a town? We're going downhill. Which gear should we use? What does the sign on the left mean? What type of pedestrian crossing is coming up? What do the zigzag lines mean at a pedestrian crossing? Where are we never allowed to stop at a pedestrian crossing? As we travel behind this blue car, how far back should we be? Where should we be looking now? What speed limit do you think is right for this road? At this roundabout, we're going to turn right. Why is there a mirror right in front of us? Which gear are we likely to use here? Who do we give way to here? This road is particularly narrow. How should we position? Why are the lampposts consecutively laid like this? What does that tell us about the road? What's the typical speed limit of this road? When the road widens, what should we do with our position? At the roundabout, we're going to turn left. Which gear is it likely that you'll be using? Is this roundabout open or closed? Who do we give way to? Where are the blockers going to come from? Which pedestrian crossing is coming up here? Why did the Belisha beacons flash all day and all night? Who's got priority in the situation ahead of us? Which mirrors are we going to use? How fast should we go? Which gear should we use? It's hard to see up ahead. What should we do with our speed? There's lots of houses here. What should we be aware of? When you turn right, which mirrors should you use and why? Who do you need to give way to when you do this turn? As we turn in, I've noticed there's parked cars on the right. Why is stopping here the correct thing to do? Which mirrors should you check? Who's got official priority here? Why does it say slow on the floor? Where should we be looking here? What do the double yellow lines mean? Why are the double yellow lines there? Who's got official priority here? What other hazards could we consider? At the end of the road, is it open or closed? Which gear is it likely that you'll be using? Who's got official priority at this junction? What do the lines on the floor mean? I've noticed that the flashing light is on at the Pelican crossing. Can we go through it? Which lane at this roundabout do we need to go straight on? Why is that? Okay guys, so I really hope that these Q&A examples work. At this point I'm about to pull into this car park and the lady on the left was just struggling, so I just stayed here as I waited for her patiently to come out. I really hope that these Q&A questions help you. It is very important that when you go to your part 3 that you know how to Q&A. It really is very important. So when you're with your partly trained student and you've gone to prompt and independent stage, you really need to pull some Q&A out of the bag because you need to know that the student has learnt or they understand. It's vitally important that the examiner can see that you're teaching and that the student has got something new from the lesson that you've given. Remember, if you ask a Q&A question and they don't know the answer, you go straight back to full talk through and you give them the answer. And then you try and release them to prompt and independent after that by asking them another Q&A question about the same subject later on. I really hope this helps, guys. I really do. Take care.